Did you know going into that, did you expect going into that it might fail on the floor?
Well, we thought it might be close, and I will be honest with you, I spoke to some of you guys earlier. The leadership didn't twist arms or anything. We said people can vote how they want to vote. We brought it up, and it was voted down, and that's the way things go. We'll make a decision on whether we want to make a motion to reconsider. I'll sit down with the Speaker Pro Tem, the Speaker, and the Budget Chair and make that decision. But I just visited with the Budget Chair, and he was fine. And so it's just one of those things that he didn't want to twist a bunch of arms, and the leadership decided that's what we were going to do.
So Brian, you voted no. Would you reconsider?
I think we're going to have to look. I mean, certainly, it's going to probably have to take. There's certainly going to have to be some changes. I mean, there are some problems, I think, in that bill. There's some problems with the budget, and we're going to see if we can't negotiate.
What are the problems in that bill?
I think listening to some of the members, listening to some of the thoughts and some of the discussion is that some of the problems related to the fact that many people, the bill started out as big statewide type projects. I'm talking about interoperability, issues with the public defender. However, on the floor, there were over 100 amendments dropped. And many folks thought that these unique amendments on the floor that affected only folks' districts, that the bill moved away from being a big statewide bill. And that was some of the concern that folks shared, both on the House floor today and walking around the Capitol.
But those big statewide projects are still in there. The interoperability, public defender, all of the ones that had a statewide reach were still in there.
Those were just two examples, and as I said, the bill itself had big projects coming out onto the floor. And now those projects were carved up, other projects were carved up into small, unique things, something for the Metro in St. Louis, issues like small interchanges in the state. Those sort of things created some frustration among members on both sides of the aisle. While the bill was being debated, the minority leader was walking down the aisle telling Democrats to vote no on the bill. So the fact remains is that on both sides of the aisle, it's going to take some work. We hear from Democrat House members that the governor was working to try to defeat the bill. So the fact remains is the bill clearly needs some work.
But it went from 97 votes to 68 in 24 hours. I mean, you said it needed work, but it got 97 votes on preliminary vote.
Right, and I think what's interesting is, I've had multiple members of the minority party come up to me and say, we think this is ridiculous, that our leadership is forcing us to do this. And so, it sounds like to me they've got a problem in their caucus that they'd rather try and score political points and pander than actually do something that's good. And it's funny that they walked out on committee and didn't have a voice in committee and then criticize us for making changes, and then when they get up here, they once again, like they have in the past, vote against Ellis Rochelle like they did on the Mohila bill when we passed that a few years ago, and they did it again today. So, I'd say they got a problem in their own caucus because their own members are coming to the members of the majority and saying, we don't like how this is being done, and we're being forced to vote no on something, we want to vote yes on it. And so that would be an interesting question for the minority leader.
Are you all saying that if you do bring the bill back, it will be changed to take out some of these individual projects like Metro? Is that project in great
I'd say
jeopardy?
everything's up for discussion right now. We're going to take some time. We're going to go through that bill as with the rest of the budget.
But I want to make it clear that we have full confidence in our budget chair, and I can't speak for our entire caucus, but as far as it goes for me, we rely heavily on the guidance and counsel of our budget chair, and I feel like our caucus, if our budget chair wants to go back to it and make a motion to reconsider, I fully expect